welcome to Dharma Television Collective News. This is Srishti Khadki. Let's move on to today's headlines. Nepal Airlines to do ground handling of Gautam Buddha International Airport. 6 arrested for protesting before Chinese embassy against land encroachment in Humla. Protest staged by tourism workers. Protest demanding action against the killer of Samjana Vishwakarma. 3 arrested with 10 kg opium from Pokhara. On-site monitoring of various hospitals by subcommittee. Newly appointed in NARC agreement on agriculture technology transfer. Peace worship for the eternal peace of the soul of Angrita Sherpa. G20 leaders summit to be held virtually. Qatar Airways reports $1.9 billion loss amid pandemic. Joe Biden ahead of Trump in 2 national polls. U.S. elections. Texas residents want not to use tap water after brain-eating microbe found. Here we go for news in detail. Nepal Airlines is to be given the responsibility of ground handling of the under construction Gautam Buddha International Airport and Bhairawa. Nepal Airlines, that has been conducting ground handling of Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu, is being given additional responsibility without any competitive bidding. As the construction nears completion, the Aviation Authority decided to give that responsibility to Nepal Airlines. Aviation Authority has decided to operate the airport itself after backtracking from discussions to allow a foreign company to operate that airport. Therefore, the ground handling responsibility was given to the state-owned Nepal Airlines. Director of Civil Aviation Authority, Rajan Pokhara, said that agreements had been reached and certain paperwork were only remaining. A German company had shown interest but had backtracked after the government refused the proposal. Nepal Airlines has been making good earnings from ground handling of Tribhuvan International Airport, although its income from flight is not praiseworthy. Although voices were raised to choose a company from open competition, the authority decided to give the responsibility, assuming that it wouldn't create any debate. The physical construction of Gautam Buddha International Airport has been completed and only the finishing is left. It is expected to come into operation from Chaitra 2077, although the government has already declared to start operation from Push 2077. Demonstrations have been held under the leadership of Nepali Congress leader Kundan Kafle in front of Chinese embassy on Monday. The youths were agitated after China built buildings on Nepali land in Humla. Dozens of youths were present in the demonstration. Police have arrested 6 people from the demonstrations. The arrested are Navraj Tripathi, Pranil Tamang, Subodh Oli, Binda Bogati, Arbat Khadka and Dipendra Khadka. Arrested Tripathi is the campaigner who conducted campaigns nationwide in schools and public places demanding Limpia Dura in Nepali map. Nepali Congress has expressed suspicion on the government's immature response to the encroachment. Limizwa chairman Paljor Tamang has accused the government of not doing anything, although the Chinese had come 1.5 kilometers inside Nepali territory and built buildings. Congress leader from Humla and former Minister Jivan Bahadur Shahi said that China's expansionist nature was evident in its encroachment of Nepali land. Tourism Workers Struggle Committee has staged a protest in Kathmandu, saying that the state has neglected the tourism workers who lost their jobs due to corona epidemic. On Sunday, committee held a protest rally from Bikuti Mandap in Kathmandu. In the current situation, committee has stated that the rights of the tourism business workers should be secured and they should work together. Committee said that they had not asked the government for help as they had been starving for a long time but had not been heard so far. Prakash Rai, coordinator of the protest committee, said that protests have been staged to celebrate Tourism Day as a Black Day, as the Tourism Board, Tourism Department and TAN have not listened to their grievances. Coordinator Rai said that the amount they have been depositing in the Workers' Welfare Fund for the past 5 years has reached Rs 150 million. But the government bodies have refused to spend the same amount for the benefit of the workers. Tourism sector had come to a standstill since April last year when government launched a lockdown on corona prevention and control. As a result, thousands of tourism workers have lost their jobs, according to the struggle committee. Protests have been staged in Kathmandu on Sunday demanding action against the killer of 12-year-old Samjana Kami of Bajan. Participants in a demonstration organized by Joint Political Dalit Struggle Committee on Sunday demanded death penalty for the rapist. They have demanded the government to give justice to the victims and not release the perpetrators. Protesters said that even though such incidents have been repeated many times, culprits have been acquitted due to weak laws. Congress MP Min Vishwakarma, who participated in the protest, said that the incidents were increasing due to lack of law enforcement. MP Vishwakarma accused the government of weakening law on violence under political influence. MP Vishwakarma said that criminals were acquitted as the police administration was distracted from business reason. Similarly, Central Women's Department of Nepali Congress had organized a street debate to protest the incident. Participants in the street debate expressed concern that Nepali society was becoming insecure for women. CPN Maoist MP Ramkumari Jhakri, who raised the street debate, said it was necessary to review the effectiveness of the police administration. MP Jhakri said that the incidents of violence against women were repeated due to the absence of state presence in the rural areas of the country. Samjana BK of Musta Gaonpalika 2 of Bajang was found dead on Wednesday evening. Her body was found naked at local Sim Devta temple. Police have launched an investigation into the incident. Police have arrested 18-year-old Rajendra Bohra of the same place on the charge of being involved in the incident.
कानुन कार्यान्वयनको फितलोपना राजनीतिक दलहरूको लापरवाहीपन सरकार जनताप्रति उदासीन र सरकारले गर्नुपर्ने कानुनी कारबाहीको कडा जुन अवलम्बन छ अथवा कारबाही छ त्यो गर्न सकेन गरेन चाहेन र विभिन्न ढङ्गले राजनीतिक दबाव र प्रभावमा यी कानुनहरू फितलो बनाइयो जसको कारणबाट त्यस्ता किसिमका अपराधिक मनोवृत्ति भएका मानिसहरूको चाहिँ यसमा थप आत्मबल बढ्यो र यो आत्मबल बढेको कारणले गर्दा अहिले चाहिँ दण्डहीनताको वातावरण बढ्दै गयो फलस्वरूप एकपछि अर्को घटनाहरू दिनादिन बढिरहेका छन् शासनले जोस जाँगरका साथ यस्ता घटनाहरूमा किन अपराधी खोज्दैन भन्दा हाम्रो प्रहरी प्रशासनहरू चाहिँ कहीँ न कहीँ ढङ्गबाट आफ्नो व्यवसायीकरणबाट विचलित भएको देखिन्छ।
प्रहरी प्रशासन संगठनलाई कति ठुलो बनायो विस्तार बनायो प्रयोगकारी बनायो एकपटक समीक्षा गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था छ। त्यसकारण जेन्डर मैत्री वातावरण हुनको लागि बालबालिका र ज्येष्ठ नागरिकले समाजमा सम्मान र सुरक्षाको प्रत्याभूति गर्नको लागि राज्य नै प्रयास हुनुपर्ने अवस्था हो। तर आज हामीका त्यो अवस्था छैन। हामी काठमाडौँ लगायतका ठुला सहर छोडेर जब ग्रामीण क्षेत्रमा जान्छौँ त्यहाँनिर राज्यको उपस्थिति देखिन्न। जब राज्यको उपस्थिति देखिन्न नागरिकहरू सचेत भएन भने अपराधीले सजिलै मुक्ति पाउने अवस्था हुन्छ। त्यसकारण स्वयं नागरिक पनि सचेत हुनुपर्छ। यस्ता अपराधिक क्रियाकलापलाई राजनीतिलाई अलग गरेर हेर्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा हो। त्यसकारण निर्मला पन्तको बलात्कारपछि हत्याको मामिलामा महेन्द्रनगरदेखि काठमाडौँसम्म निश्चितका ठुला जुलुसहरूले पनि अपराधीले लुक्न पाउने मुद्दा दायर गर्न सक्ने अपराधीलाई ल्याएर अनुसन्धान गर्न नसक्ने सम्मका अवस्थाहरू भइरहेका छन्। त्यसकारण नागरिक समाजले हामी राजनीतिक दलले कुनै मुद्दा उठाउँदै गर्दा हामीले मुद्दा उठाइरहेका यी विषयहरू निश्चित हुन सक्छन्। गलत एक्सनतिर जान सक्छ र अपराधीले कारबाही नहुने न्याय नपाउने र अपराधी खुले समाजमा अझै अर्थ नयाँ खालको त्रासहरू दिएर हिँडिरहने अवस्था पनि हुन सक्छ। त्यसका प्रति पनि हामी सचेत हुनुपर्छ।
Three people have been arrested from Pokhara for possession of the illegal drug opium. Police from the Illegal Drugs Bureau Kathmandu and Pokhara arrested them from Pokhara Municipality 6 with 10.5 kilos of opium. The arrested are 50 years old Gazpoon and 40 years old Chakar Bahadur Poon of Rukum and 24 years old Rabi Gurung of Barpak, Gorkha. According to the Bureau, Gazpoon had been involved with the illegal trade of opium in eastern and western Rukum. Police has informed that all three were to be prosecuted according to the Illegal Drugs Trade Act 2033. A subcommittee set up to monitor government's action on COVID-19 under the House of Representatives Education and Health Committee has been conducting on-site monitoring of various hospitals to get information about corona treatment. The subcommittee monitored Grandi Hospital, KMC Hospital and Hams Hospital on Sunday. During the inspection, it was found that corona-infected people were being treated at Grandi Hospital and Hams Hospital by providing free services, and 20% of the beds were allocated for corona treatment, said Subcommittee Coordinator Jeevan Ram Shrestha. Coordinator Shrestha said that treatment of COVID and non-COVID was found in the hospital. Coordinator Shrestha also said that there is weakness in management of treatment of COVID and non-COVID at KMC Hospital. Coordinator Shrestha informed that it has been suggested to work systematically for the treatment of corona in various hospitals. The subcommittee is continuously monitoring the work done for the prevention and control of the treatment of COVID-19.
जुन खालको एउटा चाहिँ नि आइसियुहरू कोभिडको लागि सञ्चालन गरेका आइसियुहरू कोभिडमा रहेका वार्डहरू र त्यहाँ अलि प्रोटोकल यो जुन खालको कोभिडको प्रोटोकल छ त्यो प्रोटोकललाई टोटली फलोअप गर्न नसकेको हो कि भन्ने खालको हामीले त्यहाँ भिजिटको क्रममा त्यहाँका भिजिटर्सहरूलाई भेट्दाखेरि त्यो खालको गुनासोहरू पायौँ।
Dr. Deepak Bhandari has been appointed as the Executive Director of the National Agricultural Research Council. Minister for Women and Children, Parvat Gurung informed that Cabinet meeting held in Balbatar on Sunday decided to appoint Bhandari as the Executive Director of NARC. Bhandari was previously the acting executive for NARC. Government has appointed Bhandari as the Executive Director as it cannot last for more than 6 months. The meeting also authorized Dr. Anjan Sakya, Nepal's ambassador to Israel, to sign an agreement on agricultural technology transfer between Nepal and Israel. Minister Gurung informed that no special agenda was discussed in the meeting. Before the cabinet meeting, a discussion was held between Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli and another chairman, Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda. Oli and Prachanda have been discussing about the reconstitution of the Council of Ministers for several days. World-renowned climber Angrita Sherpa, who passed away last Monday, was led to race at Sherpa Cave in Bauda on Sunday. Sherpa, who successfully climbed the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, 10 times without oxygen, died on Monday and was buried in Teku Doban on Wednesday, according to Buddhist tradition. In memory of the late Sherpa, Yambu Thami Chotkidug worshipped peace. Mingwa Sherpa, chairperson of Yambu Thami Chotkidug, said that the entire Sherpa community was happy with the honor bestowed on Angrita Sherpa by the government. Chairperson Kidug also said that government should make special arrangements for Sherpa's family in the coming days. Born in Thami Solukhumbu, Sherpa was known as the snow leopard.
हामी शेर्पाको लागि मात्र हैन विश्वलाई नै चिनाएर उहाँले चाहिँ धेरै राम्रो गर्नुभएको छ र उहाँ यसरी बित्दाखेरि हामीलाई धेरै दुःख लागिरहेछ किनभने अब उहाँको लागि हाम्रो सरकारले केही न केही उहाँको लागि चाहिँ गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने चाहिँ म चाहन्छु उहाँहरूलाई अनि अब यसमा त अस्ति जुन हाम्रो सरकारले पनि उहाँलाई राम्रै सम्मान गर्नुभयो हामी यम्बु ठमिछो कितुकको तर्फबाट र हामी ठमिछोवासीको तर्फबाट चाहिँ सरकारलाई पनि हामी धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु यो कुरा चाहिँ मैले अस्ति पनि राखेको थियो र यस्तो कोभिड-19 मा यस्तो स्थिति नराम्रो हुँदा पनि हाम्रो सरकारको हाम्रो प्रधानमन्त्रीहरू उहाँहरू आउनुभयो र उहाँलाई रेस्पेक्ट गरेर सम्मान गरेर चाहिँ उ गर्नुभयो।
The 2020 G20 Leaders Summit will be held virtually from November 21 to 22 and chaired by Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Saudi Arabia's G20 presidency said in a statement early Monday. The statement said the Saudi G20 presidency will build on the success of the extraordinary virtual G20 Leaders Summit held in March and on the outcomes of over 100 virtual working groups and ministerial meetings. G20, the world's premier platform for international economic cooperation, is leading the fight against the global COVID-19 pandemic. The statement said G20 members have contributed over $21 billion to support the production, distribution and access to diagnostics, therapeutics and vaccines, according to the statement. Under the theme of realizing opportunities of the 21st century for all, the upcoming Leaders Summit will focus on protecting lives and restoring growth, said the statement. G20 leaders will also address vulnerabilities uncovered during the pandemic and lay down the foundations for a better future, it added. Long-haul carrier Qatar Airways on Sunday reported revenue losses of $1.9 billion for the past year, blaming the coronavirus pandemic, its liquidation of shares in Air Italy, and the ongoing boycott of Doha by 4 Arab nations for the drop. The state-owned carrier also blamed new accounting rules for further adding to losses for the past fiscal year, which ended March 31st. If not for the exceptional circumstances of fiscal year 2020, our results would have been better than the year before, Qatar Airways CEO Akbar Al-Bakr said in a statement. It also restated its losses for the previous year in the financial report Sunday, putting it at close to $1.3 billion as opposed to the $639 million in earlier reported. It lost $69 million in 2018. The coronavirus pandemic halted global aviation for months, which only has begun to pick back up. Qatar also has been targeted by Bahrain, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates in a boycott since June 2017. That boycott continues today, despite efforts by other Gulf nations and the U.S. to reconcile the countries involved in the political dispute. Former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden held a lead over President Donald Trump among potential voters nationally, according to two polls conducted in past few days. In a poll by the Washington Post and ABC News, Biden had a 10 percentage point advantage over Trump. Biden's lead was 8 points in another survey conducted by the New York Times and Siena College. In the Washington Post poll, Biden and running mate Kamala Harris had 54% support among likely voters compared with Trump and Vice President Mike Pence at 44%. Among registered voters, Biden had a 53% to 43% lead. The margin is statistically unchanged from the 12-point gap in the Washington Post and ABC's August survey, which was taken before both parties held their conventions. Biden is ahead of Trump by 65% to 34% among the women surveyed, while 55% of men polled supported Trump compared with 42% for Biden, according to the report. The poll was conducted by telephone Monday through Thursday among a random national sample of 1,008 U.S. adults. The margin of error is plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. In the New York Times poll, the former vice president was leading Trump 49% to 41% among likely voters. Women favored Biden by 53% to 37%, while the candidates were tied among men, both at 45%. A total of 950 likely voters were polled between Tuesday and Thursday for the New York Times Siena College poll, which had a margin of error of 3.5 percentage points, the report said. Both surveys were conducted after the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but before Trump's nomination of federal judge Amy Coney Barrett on Saturday. Biden led Trump by 8 points on the question of who was more trusted to handle the next appointment to the Supreme Court, according to Washington Post and ABC. The same question had Biden leading over Trump by 50% to 43% in the New York Times Siena poll, with 56% thinking the next justice should be appointed by the winner of the upcoming election. Residents of Lake Jackson, Texas were asked not to use tap water after a brain-eating microbe was found in the water supply, which the authorities thoroughly disinfected, BBC reported. A 6-year-old boy reportedly contracted the microbe and died earlier this month. According to reports, the boy Josiah McIntyre got infected by water in that area. The residents were strictly asked not to use tap water except for flushing the toilet. Naegleria fowleri, the microscopic amoeba, can cause a deadly infection in the brain. The amoeba enters the body through the nose, and from there it travels to the brain. Josiah's mother, Mary Castillo, said her son died at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston on 8 September, and that doctors told her the cause was a brain-eating amoeba. NBC News reported the areas affected include Lake Jackson, Freeport, Angleton, Brazoria, Richwood, Oyster Creek, Clifton, and Rosenberg. However, the warning was later lifted from the other places except Lake Jackson. The contamination of U.S.-treated public water systems by the microbe is rare but not unheard of. According to the CDC website, the first deaths from Naegleria fowleri found in tap water from treated U.S. public drinking water system occurred in southern Louisiana in 2011 and 2013. The microbe was also found in 2003 in an untreated geothermal well-supplied drinking water system in Arizona, as well as in disinfected public drinking water supplies in Australia in the 1970s and 80s and in 2008 in Pakistan. This is all for now. We'll be back with more news and updates. Till then, keep watching Dharma television. May all the sentient beings be at peace. Stay safe.